another episode of Weekly. If you're listening to this, that means week. So congratulations.
I
Give
thought you were
yourself
gonna say if you're listening because you're
all three of our views are. Well, Dylan's mom, pat on the back. You are one. Yeah, because the funny thing is mean-spirited, and now I'm good at your mom. So with that intro,
okay.
you're welcome, Dylan's mom. Fine.
Okay.
On to the actual topic. You know what staple genre has mainstream in recent,
Like from games, movies.
just largely all
I don't know. Oh yeah, that's true.
talking about today.
Okay.
I'm gonna be talking about.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
what? Yes.
Yeah.
No, about zombies and definitely not inspired by up right now.
Is the
Oh yeah, it's like huge.
Oh,
Like,
I didn't know there was a game out more than a year ago. So
show is like smashing it with like Game of Thrones stuff.
if there's any game that I can relate to it would be The Last of Us because they just like wrapped around in a little zombie
I
game.
agree. I'm just invitations to other form media or get much press. Surprising.
Yeah.
So, zombie genre as a whole. Start with this zombie apocalypse. Got a little alert on, so there were zombies, word for word.
I phone's infected with something.
Okay. Well, Joe Biden saying crisis of the
Bitchless
zombies. Do Dylan, what is your plan?
I think just begins like that. Can't go into even if COVID isn't zombie. People acted like wars, and they bought all that like a human would need. Those people that hoarded it in the beginning paper to this day.
Yeah, basement and garages.
So I think out by ear in the. With zombies, unless the entire United States, like, okay, if they're making it has to be like, I guess that it's an issue that but also presumably, okay, nothing in the world at this moment. So I have enough faith to something to take care of shit. So play it calm, play it by ear.
Too dissimilar to how we both. Let's wait and see.
How about you? I'm grabbing my and.
I'm not going to agree that's going to be like ground zombies are going to be.
That place is the super
bit, and then they're going to go there and beat
Hello?
paper and food, and then that seems like a bad. So realistically, I live in a desert, so I'll ask to find the near water and like see if there's any community gardens or any seeds. Try to get those there, and the only one with that idea.
I mean, I think one of the better areas. Zombies are always like if you're in the city in Los Angeles, you live in Hemet, which urban and just like seriously, if you drive in the right direction, there is of certain areas are like so.
Oh yeah, I was actually gonna. There's a lake all the time when I'm going to like River Valley Lake. I'm sure you know of. It's like literally like a maybe 15-minute drive. Realistically, that is the biggest house where I could presumably be growing my own food and also naturally be away from. That's realistically, man, like going there.
I mean, I think that's fair for now because I don't have and I live in dense, so the situation blew more like the scenario where opposed to you here like, yep, I'm shitting in this hole and then kids and I'm gonna live here.
Okay, first off, that's right, but also fortunate for you, Boston's really would actually have you don't you?
I
Extremely unfortunate.
It is one of those things where it's and all of that stuff, which the Los Angeles area, the public is so huge. So Boston is relatively small and dense where you can transportation that takes you to. It's nice getting around in the zombie scenario. There's not a place in Bombies.
No, bet is you go up to the very top, like nail it off.
But then, once a zombie tropes, then you're trapped in there with them.
Zombie.
Oh my god, no, Brady, because that is beautiful.
A really funny slip. Maybe Brady's that even infects you.
Yeah, the football.
Yeah.
Well, actually, kind of bring up a good point that it does, which is talking about here. If we're like watched, but I've heard that to my zombie that it exists in that is pretty, when there's a horde of them, it's in run away from them. Like Resident Evil style, just be a zombie and so like turn into Leviathan in the ocean.
I'm gonna go with niche reason in that one. As an evil growing up, now that I'm less, it really takes me having relatively outcomes. Like something's chasing after you with
when rocket launch somehow they have endless supply.
So something doesn't quite seem right. Not that zombie, certainly not that happened. But walkers, America losing society because of that. So we'll say, well, they are feral. They have seemingly strength, but standard zombies. So we'll say with that. And do you think you won in a fight with just a one-on-one?
I have another question because sometimes in different ways in zombie, if they scratch you as infecting you, the only biting, like what is the method of infection?
Transfer of fluids.
So no zombie makeout
sessions. I feel like realistically you can get like infect you and dogs scratching you. Scratching, thing.
Okay. I think question then. I'm sorry, but so one dead, whether it's whatever it is in this, is their strength still is as a human, or do they get boost?
As a human, so like they're slightly above average. No, just whatever they them being feral.
I think I could out there in a t-shirt. No, like Ninja Fluid is just like, but
Mhm.
I think that I think going to be the number one.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not even too much prep time of like snow clothes.
no,
So
that's
like you put on long snow jacket over that, you put in pants, you put on some on like a mask and like that. Then like human teeth, animal teeth, where force the chances of them biting enough where like draw blood, but their saliva is not. So
yeah, yeah. There's enough layers too if you decide.
yeah. So Europe is, I think, is you have to find the right. Definitely, unless middle of a horde of zombie numbers, that is just the best. What sword, if you can find. I think that's just like the most. Take something out, it doesn't make a lot. Then it, eventually it's going to wear. You don't have to worry like, okay, 12 bullets and then fuck me.
Because in terms of be a good counter would be a bow and arrow. How are you gonna make one able with good like of course like it happens that would be the Walmart.
Eclipse happens. I doubt that people thinks.
Oh yeah, you're right. So I think that's as far as me. I don't. So I think the average human. So I think the average zombie. So I got references are like presumably sneak around superhuman, but that they could smell human sands instead of zombie ones or whatever. I mean I'm pretty sneaky. I might be able to snoop, but if it actually came down to can beat me,
Hmm.
I'm probably losing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't long term the best plan. Get somewhere that you can like isolate to have your personal island to yourself, or so at least you have me on that.
Yeah, theoretically, make some sort of route in the middle of the lake, and then when I ask for something, like pedal.
Honestly, if you could just like in the middle of like even the ocean, and it's just like you can just fish stop. You don't need to have a whole time that you food supply from that fire. Like if you're in the middle of boil the water and get that, so you're able to do something like that.
Major concern here, me kind of being first, but I feel like I would get very, it would just like trying to isolate myself and then come back to poop in the middle of a lake. Like that would be a satisfying existence. I'd myself at that point.
Like in your mind, instance that like this world like I really do is like friends go to Machu Picchu fucking nowhere on top of some board games and live out agriculture up.
Technically, maybe you gotta have companions or entertainment. I don't know, but just anything to keep.
Cardboard onto a boat.
How either you aim to make it, in which case you're gonna have darts, or you have
Yeah, I'm thinking like a
a god, a yacht.
no, not in the lake. And
Okay, gotcha, man. Well off. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Well, moving on from what would you do if you became infected? Like, becomes infected. Here, are you putting her out of her draw out those last moments of her? Are you isolating her? What are you doing?
If it's like a sons, then I ask point in time of just like I love you. I'm sorry, but to be put out of the is this something you're too afraid at that point, because especially the scenario that I am where I'm in without her, I'm alone, like rather than just like survive as long as possible, leave the zombified version apartment and just like I guess needed community and the thing over there, plus I can find Florida from Boston, because you can just kind of like line where if
Yeah,
you're trying to get into just somewhere in the middle of I guess you can walk this. That's gonna take a long literally just have to follow.
yeah, you would certainly get, but you have a maybe if you can, maybe just at a gas station or something.
Yeah, I think I could do that, and then I think I place in her place. There's a big forest there, or just lots of trees. It's kind of like how Murrieta, all that stuff, and then so I think it would be decent. The chances of her not being okay are a lot higher.
I mean, that's a, and then you'd have companionship and whatever. So
Yeah. I'm curious, in this scenario, this is something that like after whether it's a cure are eliminated or it gets. Or are you thinking that this is gonna? I'm thinking past 5 years down the line, 10 years. Okay, the world is over now, and this is the rest of our life. Everyone dies, or surviving it out until it's.
oh man, that's actually solid. I don't want to be a dick and be like reduced resistance,
Oh
but
my god.
all jokes. I society can build itself, but it's just a matter of zombies first, and it
Mhm.
isn't take years. Years down the road, zombies are killed, isolated to a certain part of the world itself.
All right, and both in just what the logic of this is like. the cleans and that and blah 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 blah. With certain things, anyone to man it. Maybe with is electricity man these days? I feel it's just like people don't feel like you need electricity constantly going.
I don't think you do. As energy source being, is it cold electricity if it's not solar? I like maintenance of stuff because like I'm in extreme temperatures. Just at least in California, it goes down really off winter.
Note that I was going to make, like, places are not in super public local water electricity plants and stuff like that. Well, if they don't, including that means that water. So
Mhm.
realistically, for some reason, it's in the middle of those. Shouldn't those areas be one of the last things to go?
That is a well, a little worth out of a specific scent. Then, not just kidding. That's a valid argument.
I'm only doing this from the okay, gotta find like shit. I mean, I guess like you're gonna run out of gas, and
My
I feel like this happens. You would have to until literally its relation to zombies.
my little counter argument would be if they probably don't have or other have to travel out bad areas to get.
Well, thing that they water or whatever,
Yeah.
and electricity. Then they have things that help water. Then they, need to, stay alive with drink that. So I feel
Yeah.
like those just like group up at
And then everyone ha 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 ha.
part of it. Well, the main reason because assuming 10 years down the line, if electricity, and internet goes down, you gonna communicate with each other. It goes over, and I hope that Jonathan keep for the next 10 years. Eventually, gonna be, I'll leave a note at Dylan travels here, Jonathan's over here, and what's your thoughts on that?
But realistically, like zombie apocalypse happens. I don't Boston, especially since I don't head.
Yeah,
But like
that's
even if I draw all the way there, realistically, probably siphon from gas station. I don't think I'd make a note or if you're alive and never find you.
I make a request because I've tried to like send you. So in that case, for me,
I say look be back. What do you want in a note alive? Like I could gauge from there how recent it dating it like every.
no, I like I want it in a super odd chance of it. So whether it's an actual carve it into your walls, scotch tape it to your windstorm window,
In my own blood. Drop
well, that might be a little bit ominous. But one, yet like whatever the last that house, assuming that you like routinely coming back, you, like put where you're going towards is that if you're still there. I see you. If not, trail to follow.
there. It'll be like a little you'll find my rotting corpse.
Depressing scat.
Why does this sound like crappy side quest? I'd be in an
Yeah, I feel like I might point just from the standpoint of like boring to stay inside and do all of that, like horrified of the zombies, or a year of just like it's not ready to eat right away. I feel like it would be boring. You'd want an extra piece of entertainment where it would just I'm going to travel to like and whether I take him back with me there, whether everyone myself. Like I think just doing it for the sake of
honestly, I completely agree. Which I kind of answer to it, but it's living through a zombie apocalypse. Shared my thoughts on like a nuclear or not, just how me blow up in the explosion. With a zombie apocalypse, more of a debate because I don't want to death.
Mhm,
That's but even count. It just sounds like such a like doing that for like let's throw up.
mhm.
COVID wasted their life, and like people were doing stuff like just 1 year, 6 years of an actual like threat doing that.
I think I'd ever off myself unless like everyone that I knew and loved died. There was literally only last person so long before like give me some kind of companion. But I myself from that. Shit, I've been talking.
What live like whether it's the tunnel is enticing enough. I know this is a vision, but kind of like with friends, it's like you're very, but then you meet new people. You become maybe during the group of people, and they mean a lot to you and give you a new person. Why you'd want to live through the apocalypse.
That could be. For I remember this is like hyper realistic with the situation. Wouldn't the bodies a year or two that unable to move unless human agriculture depart?
See, eating a human back to actually once one zombie eats full blown human again.
We're going with like the dark magics, like someone fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. Like just some kind of that went haywire. It's the situation here. Eat prolongs their 1 year.
Okay, I know you kind of, but let's say that your best friend starts with Dill, ends with their last name is Gray.
Gray.
Yeah, Dillathan, and they eat and they become.
Oh, this is
Do
actually
you like? I'm just tolls of the zombie world who are doing all that stuff until you're back. Just like, man, I'll leave you to your own device. Then you come back to me one day, or like, what are you going?
this stupid joke of simply good thought experiment.
Exactly. And then
honestly,
after the fact, how would you was a zombie and put in that become human again? And you feel you murdered 20 people too.
God, I'll address the second one. It depends on the people. Was truly the scum of the live with myself. I'm okay.
Okay.
Like, we're distraught at the thought of that. Honestly, much more harm to their fellow. So,
Okay.
but as far as a zombie, and I had you maybe had a tracking device on you, if I truly found some or people who were just genuinely incompetent and putting everyone consistently, I would yeah, try and see if but the issue is you. So really I have to try to help you and
Well,
they
yeah,
go
that's
in
the
the
thing is you have their Achilles tendons, something. So, oh, there's a zombie over here, 37s. Then you've just killed. Yeah.
so well maybe um do this. I can't be like, guys, look, like with 20 different people. I gotta give an incentive. Maybe if oh god.
Like date raping them. New like, oh, we're gonna kill stuff, and it's just like, please, I'll get they're at this
Uh,
place to the little zombie there.
that's I just have to hope it's only 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Even
anything about that.
be dead regardless then. I might have to end up on my team this situation, but you gotta do would you do
Yeah.
that for me?
Yeah, I think definitely the hardest part that comes just getting people there because it's market and it's just like, yeah, I'd like individuals, it's a group. Like, am I going to kill them? Because if I kill them, you have the benefit of it. You're like Predator who's in me. Oh yeah, this
Just
lair.
hog tie them and
It's just like, okay, John Bull, it might not, it's not going to be a month. It's probably, we'll get you there person who's,
is argument to be made like to kill someone. Like if you kill someone who takes 30 minutes and throw if I eat them, that probably like I don't see heart and finds unless if it really is the chemical.
I guess this is the scenario where if you're going on virus based, then none of this makes sense. So there's an evil god.
You're right. And an evil god harder sack.
That's true. Virgins are
Oh god. Get 10 people to bring you back.
anime convention.
They would still be doing it. They'd be anime girls.
They would.
Their stench would probably drive off.
Yeah, not they would attract the zombies as their.
There we go. The actual strange thought actually before we move on. I don't know why this has been the case before, but thing I've explained. But every Winco, I guess Costco also Sam's Club, but just have very high shelves. I always think about how apocalypse because you just close it up there and you have a shit ton of clothing. Of course, like it's just lifelong. Every single time I walk into a
Oh yeah, well I about grocery stores as much because like TFT where and stuff like that everyone's going to that like whenever ends in middle school or stuff, we would like what would you do apocalypse who do you think you could beat in a fight kind of conversations and I feel like that good base of operation gas metal gates have like tall buildings that and block things off. You have like you could farm in an area and stuff like that. And it's also not the area, it's kind of out of its way. That is one of the best areas.
yeah, unfortunately, in real houses right next ruins that by and
I
large.
guess it has been 10 years.
I can say by and large there is an area that you could on and hide in for that matter.
Yeah.
Or weeds there is. I like that idea. Honestly, I know this is gonna be a genuinely making it boredom. It's built tree school that has like birds, tetherball courts, and other
That's true.
things.
It has and like dodgeballs and shit like the computer room where internet, for that bill, you can
I mean, unironic, and you have 2 libraries filled with books that are well below.
with DVDs.
Yeah, I mean, we could really low, but non kids films like Studio Ghibli.
Yeah, so we could just like watching on the big that area. We can go and give speeches.
I legitimate question that I answer, but thought about like the fun like it would be to sneak into like elements clothes and just go on the swings. Obviously don't do it because be like arrested or something. Like I don't know, have you ever thought about literally just a me thing, just explore the place?
Would be fun, but I've never thought about realistically if we could do this. Because you and I both with stuff. You when meeting K-pop
Hold on, we
couples,
don't
and you just think of like let's do it where it's just like go here, and I'd be too scared, and also the cameras are there, the door, the
True.
alarm's gonna go. With the zombie apocalypse is the reason to think of that stuff. Go there and do shit. It's like no, I would get in trouble.
People who have actually done how did you get arrested for such thing?
Yeah.
That's that, but subject of actually just I guess kind of just talk about the genre as a whole, movies, TV shows. I guess what's the genre, and then like what are some see more of or less of?
That I went, but just I don't like it as I don't like it when they came from, where it's just like this lab in Idaho, and
Mhm.
like I want it to lessness of it was a virus. Who the fuck knows? There are zombies right now. Here for it, and then like it as much. Like I can in things and stuff, it becomes less or not zombie versus zombie, man versus man,
Uh-huh.
extent. But then I think just a of like a war drama. Oh, I prefer these as the zombies.
That's fair. I first exposition like we nation, and I'm like, because like some other forms of media, like say Spider-Man Home, go through his origin story. They did Ben Parker and blah, and everyone loved it. Maybe zombie things don't need the explanation or give us the zombies. And then regarding the latter versus man versus also I said versus a lot unclear, but zombie movies have the goal to like show that man is, but I kind of felt this was the game of just I don't know. It felt overshadowed the other about the gunfights.
Honestly, the zombies in the when we played the first one, you forget that there's zombies. Like 98% of things got destroyed, and like, and
Yeah,
it would be the same to me. Pardon it, but it was
absolutely not. I guess this might go a little bit against her, but I'm gonna give Left 4 at least the zombies, larger tanks, spit. At least those were very up and whatnot. Like it was fun and it always zombies, and I liked that.
that are some interesting takes of like, what if it's not just like agriculture gets into you have like these large vial thirsty for human that and it's just in you against the world has been zombified like and is the real monster if on base camp but like protecting all of you people so I get away with whoever I want and it's just like power trip and stuff but like that we want the food and it's just like feels like poor people.
Yeah, at least give us some.
Yeah.
I thought I like the most, at least. I need strong, even at the expense of, and I'll give two. First off, plants,
Okay.
that in the world. It might be a zombie game, but it wasn't really anything like it before. And it all that seriously, just a genuine 10 hours, however long it took to build a lot of crappy sequels. It was genuinely fun. Call of Duty Zombies was definitely not a deep experience. Survival of shooting is
If you go elation in that versus like it's like man I feel like we killed it 100 times over.
why there's so many zombies.
Yeah.
I genuinely did like that more than it was. Here's some shooting zombie. Counter that with like two examples of games that I that were in this like DayZ or because they're so focused on simulation experience. You need to worry about your food. You need to worry about blah blah blah. It's not enjoy. It's a miserable trying to just survive. I don't too seriously. I need to.
Yeah, well, that's even something we were going into the realistic DK after exit. You would need a fresh, sort of hyper realistic. It's kind of boring. So I give it a personality. Night of the Living Dead, I sure thing that made a zombie. That might be even where the name forget. But it's just a night, graveyard booms are up. You're not thinking about it, just surviving until you die. And you don't need water or any of that.
I'm okay with again going back to Resident Evil apology to it. Zombies saying like I like it. It's just that's not my respect what they did though. It's only got very zany, too wacky. Scene in Resident Evil punches through a boulder.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Had to experience that and be like realm of reality. At least enjoyed it. It was even if not realistic. It doesn't take itself seriously. Me. But at least I can.
I mean, that's the thing where at least it gets where even if it's not the person, it's better than something that's make this as bland as possible.
I'll take it. I'll give full.
Right. Well, 50 minutes here before closing zombie things that you want to talk now.
I feel now that we know now that we know how we terrible to help one another.
That is true.
We're ending it here. So
until next time.
And if you do, back.
All right.
YouTube for news.